I know that people all around the world who love my music are also happy, especialmente todos los latinos y las latinas en el mundo entero y aquí en los Estados Unidos, todas las personas que han trabajado para abrir puertas. Más que un logro mío, es un logro de todos, demostrando que nuestra huella y nuestra aportación en este país nadie nunca la podrá sacar ni borrar. And if you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn.
The NFL just chose the Bad Bunny Rabbit or whatever his name, this guy who hates ICE. He doesn't like you. He accuses everything he doesn't like of racism. Do you think maybe we should just kind of entertain blowing off the NFL, like a boycott or something along those lines?
Oh, you tell me, Whit, whether this is an active middle finger to all of MAGA and the right wing by putting this guy who likes to dress in women's dresses, who hates the United States so much he won't come here because he's worried about ICE raiding his concert, as our Super Bowl entertainment.
Now, when it comes to the Super Bowl halftime show, this one right here might just shake the culture all over again. Because if you thought Kendrick Lamar's 2025 performance changed the game, wait till you see what's coming next. Some people love it, others can't stand it, but one thing's for sure. Bad Bunny being picked to headline the 2026 Super Bowl didn't happen by accident. Out of every possible artist in the industry, this choice proves that Kendrick's halftime legacy didn't just work, it set the blueprint. And now the ripple effect is rewriting music's biggest stage forever. Before we dive deep, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a ton, because today we're breaking down why Jay-Z personally pushed for Bad Bunny, what his real goal was behind the scenes, who else was considered, and how this move connects back to Kendrick's cultural impact last year. And here's the crazy part. Even though this year's show doesn't feature a rapper front and center like Kendrick, hip-hop is still winning. Having Bad Bunny take over that stage is a massive W for the entire culture and for the global sound that's been building for years. Because after a full year of debates, tears, and online chaos over Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl, what happens next is about to prove that this wasn't just a one-time thing. It's a movement. Kendrick Lamar's halftime show wasn't just big, it was historic. The biggest Super Bowl performance by the numbers and the cultural shockwave it created, nothing else came close. It was a moment that reminded the world that hip-hop isn't just a genre, it's the heartbeat of modern culture. But with all that success came backlash. As Kendrick broke barriers, some people tried hard to twist that victory, calling it too political, too loud, or too black.
Have such amazing love and support from your fans.
I'm very grateful that the world can connect with my music.
You already know how that goes. And heading into 2026, with Jay-Z still calling the shots, a lot of people, especially those who never respected rap as real music, were hoping the NFL would strip his influence away completely. They wanted to replace that energy with something safer. You know the names: Morgan Wallen, Taylor Swift, Post Malone, even Adele were floating around. And listen, this isn't about whether those artists are good or not, it's about what their selection would have meant. If the league had gone that route, it would have sent a clear message that Jay-Z's vision of diversity, raw truth, and cultural power had been shut down. It would have said, we gave hip-hop its moment, now let's go back to comfort. But here's the thing, Jay-Z didn't just survive that pressure, he doubled down.
That was the NFL's way of making it very official that Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny will headline the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. Big deal.
After 6 halftime shows that broke boundaries, he refused to let the stage slide back into the same old formula. Because if he had, it would have meant Kendrick's 13-minute storytelling masterpiece, that bold, poetic Super Bowl statement, had scared the wrong people, that the truth hit too deep. Instead, Jay chose the opposite. He picked Bad Bunny, an artist who carries the same fearless energy, but through a different language and a different culture. And that choice says it all. This movement isn't stopping, it's evolving. What Kendrick Lamar did on that stage wasn't just a performance, it was a cultural earthquake, the biggest halftime show in Super Bowl history, both in numbers and meaning. For 13 straight minutes, he turned that field into a mirror, reflecting everything raw, real, and revolutionary about hip-hop. But like every revolution, it came with resistance. The same voices that cheered for change suddenly got quiet when it didn't look or sound like them. They called it too political, too loud, too black. You could feel the discomfort. So when the 2026 lineup talks began, the whispers started. Jay-Z's gone too far. Some execs wanted to hit reset to bring in something safe. Names like Taylor Swift, Morgan Wallen, Post Malone, even Adele were floated around. Artists who fit the system, not shake it. And look, this was never about talent, it was about the message. Because if the NFL had gone that direction, it would have screamed, "We let hip-hop play, but now we're done." It would have meant Kendrick's masterpiece made them nervous, that his truth cut too deep for comfort. But Jay-Z, he didn't fold. He did what real visionaries do. He doubled down. After years of turning the halftime stage into a global reflection of culture, he wasn't about to let fear undo progress. So he went bold again. He picked Bad Bunny, an artist just as unapologetic, just as boundary-breaking, but representing a different voice of power, a different language, a different struggle. And that's the statement. This isn't retreat, it's evolution. Kendrick kicked the door open. Bad Bunny's about to walk through it. See, this isn't the first time we've watched greatness earn its stage. Usher practically auditioned for the Super Bowl through his Las Vegas residency, proving he could own that spotlight night after night. Then came Kendrick Lamar, who had one of the most dominant years an artist could ever dream of, and he earned his turn on that field. And now, it's Bad Bunny's moment. He's been building toward this for years, breaking language barriers, dominating charts, and redefining what a global artist looks like. On stage, his energy is unmatched. He doesn't just perform, he commands the crowd. So when you really think about it, this pick makes perfect sense. Of course, not everyone sees it that way. The same people who said rap isn't music are now suddenly mad that Bad Bunny's performing. Not because they care, but because outrage is the only way they know how to stay relevant. It's the same playbook, just a different target. But if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this moment is massive. No matter what genre you love or what artist you ride for, the symbolism here can't be denied. Because in the grand scheme of things, out of every possible name Jay-Z could have chosen, Bad Bunny is the only one who truly carries the torch. He's living proof that Kendrick Lamar's halftime show worked, that the message reached beyond hip-hop into something global, something permanent. And that's why this choice hits different. A Morgan Wallen, Post Malone, or Adele couldn't pull off what this moment demands. Not because they're not talented, but because they're not built for this kind of cultural weight. Bad Bunny is. He's walking straight into what I'd call the Kendrick Lamar era, an era where halftime shows aren't just performances anymore. They're statements. And when I say the Kendrick Lamar era, here's what I really mean. Kendrick didn't just perform, he exposed something. Remember what he said about Drake on Euphoria? He wasn't just calling out one man, he was calling out a whole system. Because let's be real, the artists being tossed around for that Super Bowl slot, most of them are industry puppets. They rap, they sing, they chart, but they're not saying anything. Their songs touch on the same 5 recycled emotions: sadness, love, anger, heartbreak, flex, and that's it. Nothing that challenges you, nothing that transforms you. It's music designed to pacify, not to provoke, to keep people entertained but never enlightened. That's exactly what started happening during what many call the Drake era of hip-hop. The sound got slicker, the bars got safer, and the message got lost. The genre that was born out of pain, rebellion, and truth suddenly started sounding like background music for brand deals. But then Kendrick came along and flipped the whole thing upside down. He showed that you can hit #1 and still speak about something that matters. He reminded the world that hip-hop isn't just about vibes, it's about vision. And that's why his name carries so much weight. Because even at the very top, he refuses to become another puppet. His art doesn't just entertain you, it challenges you, it makes you uncomfortable, it forces you to look inward. That's what separates him from the rest. And that's exactly why Bad Bunny's selection feels like a continuation of that same legacy. Not just fame, not just hype, substance. When you really break it down, Kendrick Lamar has mastered something that most artists today can't even touch: the balance between pure entertainment and deep universal impact. He proved that you can make people dance and think at the same time. That music can move your body and your spirit in one breath. His Super Bowl halftime show was living proof of that. The storytelling, the shifting plot lines, the back and forth dialogue with Samuel L. Jackson, even the stage design and outfits, every single detail was intentional. It wasn't just a concert, it was cinema on turf. When he rapped "Man at the Garden" on that stage, it hit different. The world had never seen an artist weave a performance like that into something so layered, so symbolic, so raw. It wasn't about flexing fame, it was about crafting a moment that would echo long after the lights went out. And that's where Bad Bunny comes in. Because just like Kendrick, Bad Bunny understands the power of storytelling through sound and imagery. Even if you don't speak Spanish, his music communicates. The emotion, the vision, the world he builds, it transcends language. You feel it before you even translate it. Look at his last album cover. The visual symbolism alone said more than most artists say in an entire track list. Look at his live shows. The theatricality, the chaos, the heart. He doesn't just perform songs, he performs experiences. That's what makes this moment so powerful. While most of the industry is filled with artists who will do anything for a bag, who show up, play it safe, and call it art, Bad Bunny is the opposite. He's pushing boundaries. He's redefining what global pop, reggaeton, and even hip-hop culture can look like when you stop chasing formulas and start chasing truth. He's not here for the minimum. He's here to make history, just like Kendrick did. And when it comes to Bad Bunny, he's not playing by anyone else's rules, not the industry's, not the critics, not even the fans. He's creating his own lane, and he's doing it with confidence that few artists ever reach. Look at the branding around this Super Bowl. The entire campaign centers on one powerful fact. This will be Bad Bunny's only US performance during his current world tour. Think about that. He's not chasing exposure. He's limiting it. He's turning scarcity into storytelling. That alone expands what entertainment can be. It's not just a show, it's a moment you have to witness because you might never see it again. That's genius. That's power. And even for audiences who don't speak Spanish, the impact is undeniable. You might not catch every lyric, but you feel the emotion, the intent, the gravity. You understand that this is bigger than music. It's cultural, it's emotional, it's historical. Compare that to what dominates today's playlists. Those copy and paste hits cooked up in boardrooms by people who've never touched a real stage. The ones designed to trend for a week and vanish the next. Bad Bunny's performance cuts through that noise. It reminds people what art actually feels like. So when you see all of this, the timing, the symbolism, the scale, you can't call it anything but a win. Not just for him, but for music, for representation, and for everyone who believes that art should still mean something. And now to bring it full circle, we have to talk about the man behind the curtain, the one who's been curating every halftime masterpiece since this new era began, Jay-Z. Because what he's getting out of this moment might be even bigger than what the world realizes. And listen, as a rap fan, I'll be real with you. A part of me still wants to see Jay-Z hit that Super Bowl stage himself one day. Imagine it, Hov walking out there, reminding a whole generation that forgot who really built the blueprint. The man has one of the most untouchable catalogs in modern music, and seeing him perform that live on the biggest stage in America, that would be legendary. But here's the thing, I don't think that door is closed, not at all. When Jay finally decides to step away from picking these halftime lineups, don't be surprised if he goes out with a bang. Maybe he headlines one year, maybe Beyonce does the next, or maybe they both share that stage together for one final cultural reset. And honestly, for my Beyonce fans, y'all already know there's something brewing. The whole Renaissance trilogy she's been building, it feels like it's leading to something monumental, and a Super Bowl moment would fit that storyline perfectly. You can see the breadcrumbs. But for now, Jay-Z deserves his flowers, because the decision to put Bad Bunny at the center of this year's show wasn't just bold, it was strategic. After all the noise and division surrounding Kendrick's halftime, Jay could have played it safe. The NFL wanted someone like Taylor Swift, a name that would calm the boardrooms and silence the culture wars. Instead, Jay doubled down on representation. He didn't fold under pressure. He didn't pick comfort. He picked truth. He reminded everyone that the halftime show isn't supposed to make you comfortable. It's supposed to make you feel. And that's exactly what this decision does. It sends a message, not just to the industry, but to the world, that culture doesn't retreat when it gets criticized. It evolves. What Jay-Z has done here is nothing short of genius. He's basically doing for the boardroom what Beyonce is doing on stage with her Renaissance albums, opening doors that were never meant to open. For years, the Super Bowl halftime show was dominated by one sound, one image, one perspective, but under Jay's watch, that monopoly is gone. Now, artists from every corner of the world, every culture, every language can take that stage and show what real representation looks like. And that's what makes his influence so powerful. It's not loud, it's strategic, it's cultural chess. You can see the same spirit in Kendrick Lamar too, that same ability to rise to the top without watering down the art. Maybe Kendrick learned it from Jay, maybe it's just the mark of true greatness. Either way, they both share something rare, the courage to be real in an industry obsessed with being safe. Because let's be honest, we're living in a time where most artists have turned into mascots. They play the game, say what's expected, and do the bare minimum. But Jay-Z, he's been rewriting the rules while everyone else is busy following them. His vision for the Super Bowl isn't just about putting on big names, it's about reshaping the entire narrative of who belongs there. He's done it with hip-hop, turning what used to be considered too urban into the world's biggest genre. And now he's doing it again, this time with Latin music, showing the suits in the boardroom that not only is it massive, it's unstoppable. That's the true legacy Jay-Z's building here, not just through beats or bars, but through power, inclusion, and vision. At the end of the day, what makes Jay-Z so different, and why all of this even works, is his ability to move through rooms most artists could never enter. He's surrounded by executives who have no pulse on culture, no feel for the streets, and no understanding of the art, yet somehow he gets them to back his vision every single time. That's not luck, that's legacy. Jay has this rare gift. He keeps pushing creativity forward while protecting everyone involved from bad deals or exploitation. He's not just making moves for himself, he's making sure the entire culture wins with him. And that's exactly why this new Super Bowl era even exists. Because while people on the internet love to call him manipulative or industry, the truth is simple. Jay-Z is a Michael Jordan level figure in music. He's He dominated the game as a player. Now he's rewriting it as an owner. He's sitting at the table where the biggest decisions get made, and for the first time ever, someone who actually understands the culture is calling the shots. He's not just booking performers, he's shaping the legacy of modern music. And when you line it all up, Kendrick Lamar redefining what a halftime show could be, and now Bad Bunny expanding that same message to a global stage, you realize something powerful. This isn't coincidence. This is the evolution of art happening right in front of us. So even if you're not the biggest Bad Bunny fan, you have to respect the moment, because this right here is history. The moment hip-hop, Latin music, and real artistry stood together on the biggest stage in the world and won. And if you made it this far, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps a ton and keeps us bringing you more deep dives just like this one. This story is far from over, and trust me, what's coming next is gonna change the game again. See you in the next one. And the best part, we're just getting started. Because if Jay-Z keeps steering this ship, we're going to see a lot more halftime shows like this. Moments that actually mean something. Performances that reflect the real culture, and artists who speak truth instead of playing it safe. Now with all that said, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl halftime show? Do you think Jay-Z made the right call? And how do you feel about Kendrick Lamar paving the way for all of this to even be possible? Drop your opinions below. I read every single comment, and I genuinely want to know what you think about this whole moment in music history. And if you made it this far, thank you for rocking with me. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a ton and lets me keep bringing you stories like this every week. You can even join as a channel member today if you want to show some extra love and help keep this movement growing. Now, speaking of stories, if you want to see what happened right before all of this, when Kendrick Lamar's show got canceled and the media tried to twist the narrative, click the suggested video on screen right now. Because what's going on behind the scenes with the King of Rap might explain exactly why this Super Bowl moment is shaking the industry to its core. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next video.